Atlanta at Minnesota. Minnesota -5. A month ago, the Falcons were 6-3. Kirk Cousins had thrown for 2,300 yards, 17 touchdowns, 7 picks. Don't forget, 800 of those yards and 8 of those touchdowns came in 2 games against the Bucs. Since then, Falcons 0-3, losses to New Orleans, Denver, and the Chargers. Kirk has thrown 6 picks, sacked 7 times, does not have another touchdown pass.
Yeah, we joked about it. I told you, I felt like everyone in Joe Public in the world was going to be on Atlanta here, and I was just going to have to take the Vikings because it's like the revenge spot, whatever their mentality was for backing them and believing once again in this Falcons team. I'm just totally off Kirk. I've been off Kirk. Like, weeks ago, I noticed he just does not look right. And everyone's come around because that was so egregious, that loss, right? I mean, if they had just put Penix in the second half, they win that game, right? Kicking field goals. Like that, the Chargers had nothing going offensively. They were totally out of it. 4 picks. It's inexcusable. So it's like, okay, I guess they're betting on him to bounce back. But you kind of just talked about it. Like, other than those 2 really big games, he's not been good this season. Like, he's been below average, which is not what he should be on that offense. Like, they have one of the better blocking offensive lines. They have great running backs. Drake London, Kyle Pitts. I mean, they're, to me, good receivers. I maybe it's the number that's throwing me off here because it is high, but it's like, this Vikings defense that likes to blitz and move guys off their spots, that's Kirk's biggest weakness right now. If you move him any discomfort in the pocket, he folds right now. Or he throws egregious picks. Like, he just throws into terrible coverage. And that's what the Vikings thrive on. And now they're going against a guy they know better than anyone else, right? Someone this team has seen him practice for all those years. So it's like, man, if this becomes like, if this becomes a game that stays below 6, I mean, you're trying to figure out favorites here. Obviously, I'd like this more than the Bucs. Like, I just really like the Vikings in this spot. It's all about what kind of number I'm going to get here. So it's another number I bet, and it's actually gone up at certain books. It was 4.5. It's back up to 5. As long as it stays below 6, I think this is a good number on the Viking team. It's all bad right now for Kirk. If it was, a different matchup, maybe I'd give him some of the benefit of the doubt here. But the fact that it's going against his Vikings defense that's just been so good this year, I can't get around to taking his side.
So you mentioned some really good points. He's facing a defense, Kirk is, that is 4th in sacks, 3rd in QB pressure, 2nd in blitz rate. All the stats that back up what you were just saying about his lack of comfort. And a lot of people would say, well, Bijan is having a great year, and he is much better this year than he was last year. The Vikings top ranked defense for rushing efficiency, top ranked for defending rushes inside the tackles, number 2 defending rushes outside the tackles. In my notes, you just said you're thinking about this number and like, why isn't it higher? That is exactly what I wrote in my notes. I'm like, what? This number feels too low.
Yeah.
It was like,
that's what's scaring me, but maybe I'm overthinking it, but it's like, this is a weird number.
Clearly, I was misreading my notes, and I meant this was my exact decision. Not
Love it.
I was confused by the order in the schedule and the spread, but I really meant Minnesota -5, not New York Giants +5. This is my exact decision.
This feels like the same thing with the Bills like last week. Like, we both loved the Bills, and it was really all about the spot and how this was a bad matchup for the other side. It feels the same thing for here. This is just all really bad matchups for this Atlanta team. So hopefully we have the same results as that Bills game, where it's just like you clearly saw one team was great against one team was great against defending the run and running the ball down teams' throats. This week, this matchup we just talked about, it's can Kirk survive that blitz? He is not. He's struggled all year against it. We think the Vikings defense will dominate this matchup.
I'm excited this is my executive decision because
much more than the Giants.
Much more than the Giants because nobody's yelling at me in the chat.
Yeah.
while I'm making the play.
No, I love it. Matt Mitchell's slowly becoming unhinged by our terrible picks. It's great.
Matt Mitchell is getting, for so many reasons, Matt Mitchell is getting grumpier and grumpier.
The man that bets the under 80 last night gets mad at us.
Every single week. He's got so many more reasons to be grumpy. It's Just lovely. Matt, you and I can talk about this in our one-on-one this week.